you very much, sir, for joining us. Just give us your thoughts as we do await the president's remarks.
Well, I said this on my ex account. I said that God had his hand on America. I don't think we need to slap it away. But, when we talk about the rhetoric that's going on, it's kind of ironic that in a sickening way that CNN making comparisons to President Trump, comparing him to Hitler. You have Democrat representatives who called for, tried to pass legislation, 9 of them, in fact, to take President Trump's Secret Service detail away from him. And then, it just, everything you all mentioned about the rooftop. I've talked to a Marine sniper today, SEAL sniper, former CIA operator, and they all say the same thing. How the hell did he get on top of that roof? If you look at the pictures, he didn't go through the top of the roof. There had to be a ladder or something. Somebody really dropped the ball. You've got a DEI, basically, a DEI initiative person who heads up our Secret Service. She was working at Pepsi before this. I know she was a former Secret Service agent, but still, this is what happens when you don't put the best players in. It's a complete failure on our part. And as I talked to Chairman Comer last night, I stressed with him, everybody wants to follow the rules. We got a 72-hour rule before we have can go a hearing. Speaker Pelosi never followed the rules. She suspended him our first day of Congress. We need to get to Washington. To hell with the convention. We've got to find out what went on, make sure that it never happens again.
So, Congressman, what do you want to hear from the president when he walks out at some point in the next little while in the Roosevelt Room?
Well, everything he said before has been very shallow and they've been very hollow. They don't carry out. Let's see what happens the week after the convention when they go into their convention, what they start saying. Because for them to come out now and say we need to calm things down after they've been spewing this vitriol, comparing Trump to Hitler, just the all of it. It is a manifestation of what they brought upon us. It is not the Republicans' fault. And I hope we stay firm. I think President Trump putting his hands up in there, his fist up there saying, fight, fight, fight. Again, I saw ABC was calling him out for that. This country, we are on the verge of losing everything we hold precious and dear to our nation. I said before this, they're going to take us without a shot, and they almost took us with a shot. Only thing I would see is if Joe Biden just said, I quit, I'm out. Because this is a product of his liberal teachings and what they've been spewing out in Washington, at least for the last 4 years, if not the last 12 years.
All right, so on we go now. As we do await the president's remarks, he was briefed this morning, and we wonder what conclusions he'll be able to draw from the information he was provided. If it is that obvious to us that a building in that close a proximity to the president, if it was that obvious to us, will it be that obvious to him? And what questions will he have? And what investigations will he want to have launched following these revelations? I get your thoughts on that.
Well, I would hope that we get to the bottom of it. I think you're going to have to get all those agents in a room at some point, and we have to go into a skiff. I guess we'll have to do that. But somebody in leadership down the chain of command, whether that sniper was his rules of engagement, similar to our rules of engagement in Afghanistan, which got 13 brave Americans killed, if he had to call to get approval to make a shot and couldn't make that shot on his own volition, then we got a real problem, because that's the type of thing that got people killed, obviously. Yep. And I would hope that at some point they figure out that they do circles around the president. There's certain areas where it's tighter and tighter and tighter, and of course on the outer perimeter, which is where this shot was obviously taken from, you've got to wonder, how did that guy get up there? Yeah. Who and the fact that the BBC broke it. They interviewed the guy who saw him and was yelling at the police to do something about it. And there was a complete breakdown of communication all the way down the line. And so that starts at the top. The head of the Secret Service needs to go. That is obvious, but I doubt that will happen.
Your thoughts on this Sunday go to the things that happened to save the former president's life, the fact that maybe people were yelling at the shooter, forcing him to rush the shot, the fact that the president turned his head, the way the wind was blowing and that 223 round nicked his ear instead of hitting him straight in the head. I mean, we could be talking about
God.
Yep.
God had his hand on Donald J. Trump at that point, and I pray that the president realizes that, because that was just a miracle of God that he was not shot. From the people that I've talked to today that have been in combat and were snipers and been on these type of details all over the world, have told me that and one said, I could have made that shot with a .22 rifle. That was a punk shot, was the exact words. And think that this shot was missed is just unbelievable.
It really is.
And it's a complete miracle. And people that say this was staged, they're idiots. They don't know what they're talking about, and they need to be shut. They need to shut them off and not even give them an avenue.
Well, that's one word for them. There's probably some other words as well. Congressman,
yes,
thank you for being with us.
My daughter's watching this. I don't want to have to put another dollar in the swear jar.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, we would have to put many dollars in the FCC swear jar if you did that.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for refraining. Appreciate it.